There can be no words for this. Michael Madden, October 26, 1986.
And that's hit to dead center with Henderson going to run it down. And the Mets are down to their last out.
My job is to go to the locker room. So at the end of 8, off I go to the locker room. That's what I was told to do. Between innings, Bill Buckner had come into the locker room to use the facilities. And he comes out and he looks at us and he says, "You guys are missing a hell of a game."
That bouncing ball off the bat of Mookie Wilson of the New York Mets might be the most fascinating sports memory in all of New England. Bouncing, bouncing. There's Bill Buckner bending down. They were one strike away. Bouncing, bouncing, still bouncing. No moment has been harder for a Boston sports writer to handle. How do you describe a communal gasp, followed by a wail for the ages?
Game 6 in 1986, the World Series. What you have to do sometimes because of time constraints is you have to start writing a column before the game is over, because they start all these World Series games, it seems, at midnight. They do anything for TV. And you're missing additions by the moment. So you have to go down like maybe the 7th inning and start typing. And you kind of go on what you've seen so far.
Henderson has done it again.
My boss at the time, Vince Doria, said, "All right, you go down and do Bruce Hurst. He's going to be the MVP of the series. Go down to the locker room now and wait, so as soon as he gets off the field, you can grab him, because we want to get that into as many newspapers as we can."
And I was typing about this wonderful event that had happened, the Red Sox finally winning the World Series, and, you know, bluebirds flying around New Hampshire, and, you know, never going to snow again and all this other stuff. And what a wonderful thing it was.
So I went down into the bowels of Shea Stadium. They started wheeling in the carts of champagne. They had these huge boxes of T-shirts, and they were putting one on the back of everybody's chairs, Red Sox world champions.
There was Hurst in the clubhouse. He was getting ready to, he was going to get the MVP trophy and all the rest.
And Larry Cancro from the Red Sox was trying to get Gene Yawkey to come down to the clubhouse because they wanted her to get down before the rush of everything. But she knew better, didn't she? She knew that the game wasn't going to be over till it was over, and she didn't come down.
And we're listening to the game on a little transistor radio that Ray Fitzgerald had.
So, you know, time goes by. There's a lot of us out there waiting, and you hear noises and you hear roars, and you realize something's going on.
I didn't really notice the first couple of hits. I mean, it was, again, my head's still on the keyboard. And, you know, 1 hit, 2 hits. It's not till the 3rd hit, which now makes it 5-4, guys on 1st and 3rd. Well, gee, the tying run's on 3rd now, better pay attention.
But there's this black and white television in the bowels of Shea Stadium with a bad vertical hold. So the picture's kind of flipping around, and the voice is a little fuzzy. And so you're typing and you're looking up and, uh-oh, something happened. Wait a minute, and you just go back typing and, uh-oh, something else happened. And things kept going around and around, and the bad vertical hold.
Probably the funniest story was Kevin Mitchell was in the clubhouse having a beer and a hot dog and on the phone making plane reservations to fly home to San Diego the next morning. He was told to come down and pinch hit, which he did. He didn't have a cup on. He didn't have all his equipment on. He goes out, gets another base hit that prolongs that.
So the winning run is at second base with 2 out.
And we were standing right near one of the tunnels out to Shea. The two of us walked to the tunnel to look out, and that is when I saw the ball go through Buckner's legs at that moment. And I thought, well, my goodness, this is a different story now, isn't it?
Behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
And then, of course, they all came in, and it was another one of those just very solemn locker rooms.
And I went from doing Bruce Hurst, the MVP of the 1986 world champion Boston Red Sox, to doing Bill Buckner, the GOAT of the 1986 World Series.
The column was like 2/3 done, and I just left it in my machine, and it stayed there for about 2 years. And then one day I just pushed delete, and it disappeared, just like the Red Sox chances.
That one night in Shea Stadium in 1986 was a spectacular test.